hands on the chin. Just keep your head down and carry on. You fight like hell, turn the other cheek. It's what separates the strong from the weak. And that's just the way that the line gets drawn. You gotta keep on living till the fight is gone.
Hey guys, welcome back for another, this is a mini episode of 10-Minute Misconduct. We're an unofficial FPHL podcast. We're dropping a little mini episode. We want to discuss a few things today. I want to introduce some new hosts. We want to show some love to another host that's been with us since the beginning. And before we get started, I just wanted to give a shout out to a gentleman named Ricky Gunn. He's actually the singer and songwriter that provided us the song for our opening of our show. So I wanted to say happy birthday, Ricky. Thank you so much for allowing us to use your song. And also, he's auditioning for The Voice, guys. So that's pretty cool. Make sure you keep an eye out for him. Like, we'd love to see him go all the way and get a 4-chair turn. So I'm going to hand the floor over to Taylor.
Fellow Puckers, it's been a hell of a ride. I'm gonna just go ahead and let you know now. Due to my work schedule, I'm going to be more behind the scenes, so to speak. Please don't hesitate to ever reach out, message me or whatever. Trust me, I'm still with the team. I just won't be hosting until Christmas of this year. I appreciate everybody. Harper. Sorry.
Our mini host.
I do appreciate everybody, and I appreciate all the love, the followers, and my fellow co-hosts here. They do a phenomenal job every single week. We always have good conversation. They're more like family now than you could even imagine. And like I said, I'm still here. I'll be around. Message me. I will get the message out, or I'll find the answer for you. But real life kicks in sometimes, and I got to work to pay the bills. And with that being said, respectfully, we've gained two awesome friends here. Erin from Bingo, y'all are gonna enjoy her fire for this game is unreal. And Sam, I believe he's from Columbus. He's a cool cat too, and he's a veteran, so y'all got to give him some love. And with that, I'm gonna let them introduce themselves.
Hi everybody, I'm Erin. I'm from Binghamton. I'm a big old bingo fan. I enjoy planting myself behind the benches and chirping at anybody that'll let me talk loud enough. Not that that's too hard to do. I look forward to getting to know everybody and getting to show the bingo side of things. Thanks for letting me join along for the ride.
Welcome.
Hey everyone, I'm Sam. I'm actually not from anywhere over here. I'm actually from Oregon, but I've found my home down here in Columbus vicinity, and I'm a River Dragon fan. I have to sit behind the penalty box. I chirp. I love to chirp. I make signs. I just try to interact and have fun with everyone. So thank you for letting me join the team, and hope to definitely continue to get the word out about everything going on in the league and just having fun with everyone.
For anybody just joining us or that's new to the show, thank you for subscribing and following. My name is Anna. I am also a Dragons fan, diehard. Currently not living in Columbus because we're stationed elsewhere currently, but big Dragon fan. I love doing the show. I love getting to interact with the fans and meeting the players. So you guys stick around because it's going to be great. And I wanted to shout out Taylor. It's been so amazing to work with you, and I'm so glad that you're still going to be on behind the scenes because I don't feel like I'm losing my family. I think Sam's going to be great with the statistics and analytics, and Erin's going to bring this just warm, awesome, fun energy to the show. And we'll introduce Ed in just a second, but he has so much background background knowledge when it comes to the league, and he's been a fan long before I was. So he has a lot of information when it comes to things in the history as well. So go ahead, Ed.
Hello, I'm Ed. You've seen me before. From Port Huron. I'm an outdoor enthusiast. Also been a fan of this league since 2013. Fun times. Yeah, anything outdoorsy or hockey like is what I'm all about. And Taylor, seriously, man, we've been through ups and downs all season long, and we've been there for you, man. And you're there for us in that background. Thank you very much for staying in the background for us. We appreciate you, dude.
Always
So-
family first.
Absolutely, man. I'm proud to call you my friend and my brother. And so now that you got to introduce us, now that we introduced us, I want to move the floor over to, there's been a lot of new
The icebreaker has
implemented
been laid.
rules. Yeah, icebreaker's done. So let's
Yeah, there you go.
move in. Let's talk about these new rules. I'm going to hand the floor over to you guys, and they're going to explain some of the rules, and then we can go ahead and talk about that a little bit.
Go ahead, you two. Aaron, Sam.
All
So, I
right.
don't know.
So over the
You take it, Sam. You got it.
So definitely over the holidays, there was some talk amongst the league, and they had actually turned around and published fairly recently. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new rules that they are implementing that's supposed to start at January 4th. Some of those rules, they're kind of laxy-daisy or more common sense. Other ones, it can bring a lot into a person's view or perspective of what the punishments are for some of these rules. The first one is the multiple game suspensions. I'll just quickly place part of it. Any team that has a player receive a suspension of 2 games or more will have their 18-man game night roster reduced by 1 player per occurrence such time the suspension expires. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think I could see more logic in it if we had a logical roster allowance. When we're limited to a 19-man roster and you get 1 man on IR and you got 1 man on suspension, and now guess what? Your coach is gone too. I don't think that these things were well thought out enough. I think there was a lot of haste. I think everything came out real quick. And it just, so much of it makes sense, but so much of it just doesn't make an ounce of sense. And I don't think it was thought out enough.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. It seems kind of like not enough time was put into it. And a source tells us that we're going to keep anonymous that some teams and some people on the board could not exactly agree on some of these, and that the commissioner made the final decision that what they had is what it was, and that's what it's going to be. And so I don't know if maybe that's why things are not fully thought out more, but yeah, I don't know.
I guess before I input stuff, if you're watching this on our YouTube when we drop this on Friday, I think this is when we were going to be on Friday. While you're watching, leave a comment below so we can see what you guys think about these rule changes too, because we'd love to follow along and maybe respond to you guys to see what you guys think about them. But personally, I think these rules have been based pretty much impulse style. I don't think what Aaron says, it wasn't really thought through. I think a lot of it is just impulse, and I think a lot of trial and error is going to occur. And I believe that there's going to be times where some teams are not going to like the outcomes of what they're going to try to do, but I think they're trying to set a tone. Whether they do it properly or not, I guess that's what we'll have to see. That's my take on stuff. And like I said, leave a comment in our YouTube channel. I believe that's where we're going to drop this. And we'll love to see what you guys think too.
My biggest issue with the entire thing is it was dropped mid-season. How about
Yes.
wait until the end of the season next
That's
year?
true. That's true.
instead of, trying to be like the Commonwealth of Virginia and creating your own laws as you go, and have a fresh slate. Let's start new.
Well, it seems like this is a kind of theme this season because not only the rules have been dropped mid-season, they also changed the teams in different leagues and different divisions this season too. So I guess this is like the year of play as you go or live as you go type season. I don't know, but yeah.
Aaron, what are your thoughts on suspending the coach as well? I know you touched on limiting the roster that is already a limited roster, but what do you think about them suspending the coach for games as a result?
So I think that I can understand in certain situations, and they know who they are, that if they're going to try to encourage individuals to do wild and dirty things, that they should be held responsible. But I'm not going to hold you responsible for the mistakes that I make. I just think that I don't think that it makes complete sense. I do think there's parts of it that do make sense. But I also think that before you go enacting some pretty major rules and some pretty major changes with some pretty big implications, then maybe we should work on the consistency of enacting what we already have before we add something so large to our plate.
I'm thinking on that part that the league thinks that I'm getting the sense that the league's feeling that the coaches are enabling these players to like pretty much attack and do this. So I think that maybe I think maybe they're trying to discourage that, if I make any logical sense. But I think that these things
that should be discouraged.
Yeah, so I think they're just trying to thwart things. But do I think every single event that a player makes is a coach's decision? No. But
exactly,
it is what it is, right? And we'll have to see how it goes. Anna,
can you tell me? Yeah, I actually absolutely agree with you. I think things are subjective, and you never know exactly what's going to happen on the ice, or if there's something that would cause a teammate to want to stick up for a player, or a dirty hit, or something of that nature. Sam, I'm curious, what are your thoughts? Do you think that this rule is going to cause maybe some head coaches to list themselves as assistant coaches in the future? That way, if there is a fight or multiple fights and it leads to a suspension, that maybe there is a little bit of a loophole that we've already found.
So the easiest way to put this is, if you remember a few years back in the NFL with Sean Payton and the Saints, and there was the entire, you get X amount of money, bounty hunting, sort of speaking.
Yes.
If a coach were more directly involved or had out his own bounty hunting list, a suspension for him, if a player did do that, that's where I could understand that coach possibly being suspended. My thoughts on this, though, is easiest way to put it. You're a manager of a Pizza Hut, a Domino's or something. One of your drivers gets a DUI because they got a DUI. You're now in trouble because it's your fault. Like, right. to me, that just doesn't make sense. So I guess that's going to be interesting to kind of watch, because it's 2-1, so with Amesbury earlier on, what was it, an 18-game suspension? And if this was enacted at that point, their head coach is gone 9 games already for something he potentially had no control over.
Right. But I think that's what the thing is, that the coaches are doing it, because like in the GOJHL, the London coach put a bounty on another player, and their coach was their coach himself was suspended for 2 years. He couldn't come into the arena, he couldn't do anything else. But it's like, where did he decide? Like, I guess, how are they supposed to? Who knows on if the coach is actually encouraging this and who is not encouraging it? I guess that's the fine line, is on, and I think that's my thing. Is like, where's the fine line on who knows that the coach has something to do with it versus if the coach has nothing to do at all, and how can the coach defend himself against the player and vice versa?
And you did make a good point. I do know in the rules, I have to go back to look at like the actual verbiage, but I believe there's also something subjective there's something subjective when it comes to that the player is not allowed to be near the ice or the bench. Now, does that mean they can't be at the arena? Are they allowed to be in the stands? I know that there's something also mentioned about head coaches having to leave the locker rooms 5 minutes prior to period starting and things of that nature. So all of that is kind of weird. But what are your thoughts on that, Taylor?
You don't even want to get me started. I think it's all petty bullshit. I'm just going to go ahead and let you know right now. The coaches have nothing to do with what's going on with the game. The coaches cannot tell these guys what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. You got to police the game,
right?
Okay, and the coach damn sure don't know what's going on in the corners when they're in the boards fighting for a puck. You don't know what these guys are saying to each other, and he can't vouch for that. Why is he being held accountable? That's kind of like, say, in the military, a whole platoon gets in trouble for doing something stupid. Instead of smoking them, we're going to smoke the company commander. I mean,
right.
You got to come on. We got to lose some logic here. We got to common sense.
Right. But I guess it still is like on those type of plays when it's done. But I think they're just trying to think that what if the coach is actually enabling this like mindset before the game. Like, a game happened yesterday and now today we're now all pissed off at let's make it like Matt Graham or something like that. So during the game, take out Matt Graham. That's what I'm thinking.
I want to be real. Every coach in this league wants to win a game. They don't care about trying to retaliate.
Yeah,
Their
and
job is on the line.
Or do they?
Well, I also see that, like, while I do think that could occur, I mean, in any sport, really, I
Right.
don't think that is something that is planned in the locker room prior to every single game. I feel like
not every
more
game,
often than not, that's not the case. That's just
No,
my
not every
personal
game.
opinion.
Right.
I don't even think it's close to that, even half.
We could probably even take care of half of these issues if we would consistently call things on the ice and stop giving players the feeling that they need to retaliate. We call this
Right.
fairly, call Bingo on their stuff, call Port Huron on their stuff, call Columbus, call everybody fairly, and there will be a significant amount less of players feeling like they have to retaliate. Call it when it's there. Stop giving us a reason to need to retaliate, and maybe we won't, and we won't get suspensions, and we won't this. Of course, there's always going to be things out there that need to be handled. There's always going to be things where people take it too far, do something stupid that we can't prevent. That's going to happen,
Right.
And that's why we're going to make rules. But if we take care of things before they fester and bubble up, maybe we'll have less of an issue.
You're asking for consistency in this league.
Yeah, I was going to read.
I know, guys.
Realize
I'm asking for a lot.
This is FPHL, after all.
Oh, I know. I know I'm asking for a lot, but if we're going to play these big boy games, then maybe we should be on our big boy game ourselves.
My thing is, how much are they paying the referees? I mean, are they paying them? Because I know like some players do get paid like very minimal, if anything. That's what I'm wondering, if some of these referees are getting paid minimal to anything. So to them, they don't care. It's just, show up at the office and collect a paycheck and go home,
One of the
Well,
ways if I
and
were to
if
get-
we're
Hey, it's the Fed. We got to hope they even show up to the right arena.
Yeah.
True
Wrong
story.
Wrong town.
what do you think about that, Sam, when it comes to officiating? I agree with what's being said that, consistency in officiating could really lead to more consistency of not having multiple retaliations.
The thing with the
Sorry about that.
officiating is the officiating doesn't necessarily it's so hard because you got different associations for different levels per state, and each one's a little bit different. So like your high school football in Georgia is different than your high school football in North Carolina when it comes to how the officiating and stuff are all trained. Does the FPHL have its own overall league, or do they kind of piecemeal together? Because once you start piecemealing together, my opinion is completely different than Taylor's opinion, which is completely different than Anna's opinion. And You're never ever going to have that straight consistency.
Yeah.
From what I know, I'm pretty sure they're all held to the same standard. Like they have all of them have the same classes and whatnot. I've been to the Columbus Arena, the Civic Center. You're not going to get the same, officiating for that game than you will, Whitfield. And if you go the next night to Winston-Salem, you're not even going to get the same there.
I mean,
right. I agree with you.
Here's an example. The NFL, they're supposed to be held to the same example, but a couple weeks ago, the Detroit Lions and Dallas Cowboys game, that whoever seen that game, they said they didn't hear the guy report and all that stuff. Man. So it's like, it all depends on the crew. Some are competent, some are not. I mean, I honestly got to look at this level of play. I'm sure I would love the fuck to have this league be, elite and all that stuff as NHL and all that stuff. But honestly, we are at the bottom rung. And I guess at this point, I think that, we should be happy we have hockey per se. I mean, we would love to see the officials eventually improve, but
Did
One
I hear
thing
you
I
say
can say-
confident or competent?
maybe a little bit of both. Honestly.
One thing I'd like to add in, I can appreciate the fact that the league is maybe trying to reach out a little bit in the ways of, we've had some rough hits this season and some injuries that were like pretty scary that happened on the ice, and hopefully their goal is player safety is number one in mind. But with that being said, we are going to go ahead and sign off, but we just wanted to touch base on everything that, kind of changed this week. And I believe Sam is going to be looking a little more into the rule book that is a lot thicker than I realized. So Sam, how many pages is the rule book?
Oh, you would ask me that right now. I think it was
Sorry.
Well over
146 or 164 pages.
Yeah, it's pretty extensive. So hopefully, we can start picking that apart a little bit. I'm sure there's a ton in there that I don't know, or maybe we can help some of the newer fans with the league expanding to learn. But I'm super excited for Sam and Aaron to be joining the crew. I'm really looking forward to working with you guys, and I hope our fans continue to watch the show. Give us a sub on our YouTube channel so you can interact in our chat, and make sure you check out our TikTok also. And leave us a comment. Let us know.
You've been doing a fine job in those TikToks.
Thank you. I love making them. They're fun, and I appreciate anyone that's sending in fight footage. I try to get them in there as much as I can. So leave a comment down below. Like, welcome our new hosts. Let us know what you guys want to see in the future, new players, who you want on the show.
And on that too, if you guys go to the games and all stuff, I do the graphics and all stuff. So if you guys can send pictures of the games and all stuff, you might have a chance of having your graphic featured as our final graphic at the end of the night. So please send them in too. You can send them into our instant message box or post in the comment, and I will go by and look for them, and I'll pick one out per game.
Yeah, and we try to post the scores by, pretty quickly after the game ends. So if you could try to submit those photos before the end of the second period, that. Yeah, well, probably the second. That way, there's time to make it, and or whatever works for you.
Well, no, thank you. I appreciate the time. That was very kind of you. I like it.
Yeah, it takes a little time to make those, make a little magic happen behind the scenes. So, all right, guys, we're gonna sign off, but we will catch you in the next one. So, bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Just keep your head down and carry on. Turn the other cheek. It's what separates the strong from the weak.